Hello friends, in the starting of this story we are shown a dungeon scene, and at this time a very powerful monster is attacking a person. But that person also attacks the monster with his dagger, due to which that monster dies there, after which that person falls to the ground. At the same time that person is thinking, I thought I was going to die but thank God I killed this monster. But at this time some person shouts and says, Hey you trash, what are you doing? We didn't bring you here because you waste our time here. After that we are shown some people who are actually hunters. And we see that they have killed a lot of monsters here. After that a person is shouting and saying, Garbage here. We have brought you here so that you can collect their mana stones from the bodies of these monsters. Quickly start collecting the mana stones. Otherwise we will leave you here and you will be killed by the hands of these monsters. Hearing this, the person is apologizing to them and he says, Sir, don't worry. I will collect all the stones right now. After that the hunters go away from there. But with this that person was thinking that our earth had changed suddenly. When dungeons started opening here. And from these dungeons many monsters started coming on earth. But with this many humans whose willpower was very high. Their awakening started happening. Because of which they all changed into superhumans. And every superhuman has a special ability. After that that person was thinking that my name is Kim. And I am not a hunter. I am a porter who collects the mana stones of monsters from dungeons. And he is very sad thinking that it has been 35 years since I have been here. But my powers are not yet available and my life is very much ruined. Because only the one who is very strong can survive on earth. But I am just a useless person. And he calls out to the hunters and says that I have collected all the mana crystals. Now we can go from here, but with this he gets shocked seeing something and we see that all the hunters there are all dead now, and looking at the bodies of these people, Kim gets very scared and he is thinking what has happened here and who killed these people. But at this time someone says you are only the last one who is still alive and now it's your turn to die. And listening to this Kim immediately looks behind him, and we see that there is a very powerful monster standing behind Kim whose rank is SSS, and his name is Asmodeus. And seeing this Kim is very scared and he is saying what is this monster doing here? His rank is very high and with this he is thinking shit, why is he killing all of them? I have to run away from here otherwise he will kill me too. But right now Asmodeus attacks Kim slightly, and we see that due to his slight attack, Kim's right hand is destroyed and Kim falls to the ground because he is in a lot of pain. But right now Kim stands up and he thinks that I have to run from here otherwise this monster will kill me too. But right now we see that Asmodeus attacks Kim with his energy, and when Themonster's energy is on Kim's head, a lot of blood starts to come out of Kim's head. And Kim is very scared at this time, and he is thinking that no, I don't want Toady. And Kim is thinking that when I was very young then my parents died in a car accident. After that when I went to school then all the other students used to bully me. Why? Why is my life so useless? And why is my life ended like this? And at the same time he is thinking with a lot of anger that no, I want to live. I don't want to die like a useless person. And at the same time we see that changes start to come in Kim's blood. And at the same time, something is coming out of Kim's head that is telling her that all the conditions of your awakening are complete. Because of which your powers are awakening. And at the same time we see that a person appears in front of Kim, who looks very powerful to look at. And looking at this, Kim is very surprised and he says, Who are you? I was just in front of Asmodeus. Where did Asmodeus go? But at the same time he looks back. So we see that Kim's body is behind him and Asmodeus is also present there. But Kim's soul has come out of his body. And seeing this, Kim thinks who is this person who stopped a powerful creature like Asmodeus? After which that person says you don't have to worry about Asmodeus. As long as I am here, he can't do anything to you. And Kim says who are you? And Kim says you can call me king. And I have come here to choose you. Because I have felt your willpower. And I like you very much. And listening to this Kim is getting very surprised. And he is thinking, What? Who is this king? And he has come to choose me. What does this mean? But at this time King says, Don't worry, you don't have to think so much. Because I have decided that I am going to choose you. And at this time King activates his power. And seeing this King is very surprised. And he says, Hey, what are you doing? What are you going to do with me? Just think that I am going to change your whole life and I am going to give you something very special. And we see that because of the use of this power of King, there is a lot of light increasing. Because of this, we see that Kim is opening his eyes, but at the same time a person is saying, "This scoundrel has become unconscious so much," and at the same time another person says, "Don't worry, I will make him conscious right now." And at the same time we see that he hits Kim with a very strong blow. Because of this Kim is very shocked, and Kim gets happy. And seeing this the person says, "Look, I told you I know an easy way through which we can bring him to his senses." And see how quickly he came to his senses. And seeing this person Kim is very shocked, and he is thinking, what is this person doing here? This person is Bai Swan, who used to bully me in high school. And with this Bai Swan starts slapping Kim again. And seeing this his friends around him are very happy. And Kim is thinking, what is happening here? And what are these people doing here? But at this time Kim's eyes are on something. And we see that in front of Kim, status window is showing, on which Kim's status is being shown. And looking at this Kim is very happy. And he sees that his age is 19 written on the status window. Looking at this Kim is very happy. And he starts laughing a lot. Looking at this Bai Swan is also very surprised. And he is saying, "Oh stupid, after eating my slap, you will not go mad." But Kim is laughing a lot. As he sees that Brother Swan is getting very angry. And he says, "Oh you dirty king, do you want to hit me again?" But at this time Kim hits him on the face with a very strong punch. And he throws him very far away. As he sees that Brother Swan's friends are very surprised. But at the same time we see Kim, who is very happy. And at the same time we see that tears are coming from his eyes. And he is thinking, "So finally I got another chance in my life." And with this we see that Bai Sohun's companions activate their powers by getting angry. And they are attacking Kim. And with this we see Kim, who asks for his tears. And with this he dodges a girl's attack and hits her face with a very powerful punch. After that he hits another girl with a very powerful kick. And he throws them both away. And with this Kim thinks that I have lived a hellish life for 35 years. And during this time I have done many years of physical training, and I have read a lot of skills and tried to learn them so that I can awaken my powers. But I didn't get any benefit from it. But with this I have worked a lot on my combat skills. Because of which my combat skills are very good. And with this we see that both the boys are very angry, and they are attacking Kim again. But looking at them Kim thinks that, do these two fools think that I will lose even after doing so much hard work? And we see that Kim hits a very strong punch to a boy again. After which he hits a very powerful kick to another boy. And he throws them away again. And with this Kim is laughing and thinking that after a long time I have used my combat skills. And after using them I am feeling very good. But with this Bai Swan says that you should not have done this. I am forgetting that we are not normal monsters, but we are awakeners. And you couldn't awaken your powers even after coming to high school. And you made a big mistake by raising your hand on me. And we see that Bai Swan has activated his powers. And Bai Swan's skill is torn skin, which he can use to protect his body and fight in combat. And we see that Bai Swan punches Kim very hard. But Kim dodged this attack very easily. After that, Bai Swan makes a very high jump and he attacks Kim very hard. And we see that because of this attack, there is a very big explosion there. Because of which there was a lot of dust there. And Bai Swan was looking for Kim in that dust. But at the same time, Kim was coming very fast to attack him from behind Bai Swan. But Bai Swan noticed Kim. But we see that Kim hit a very strong punch on Bai Swan's face very fast. But with this Kim is very shocked because we see that Bai Swan attacking him. Kim's hand is damaged very badly, and there is no difference between him and the swan. After that, the swan punches Kim very hard, and we see that this punch is very powerful, because of which Kim falls very far away and he is very injured with the same punch. By the way, Swan was saying to Kim that you should have known that if we both fight, what will happen to us? And how did you even think that you can win a Wickner by using your combat skills? And he was insulting Kim and insulting him a lot. But at the same time, Kim was thinking that every Wickner has a special skill. And the higher the Wickner's rank, the more dangerous and powerful his skill becomes. But my rank is only F and my skill is called Predation, about which I have never heard in my life and don't know how to use this skill. But with this we see that Bai Swan is very surprised to see something. And we see that a very powerful red aura is coming out of Kim's body. And we see that Kim is sitting up and a very powerful energy is coming out Ophi's body. Looking at which Kim is also thinking, what is happening? Is my skill activated by itself? Because I am feeling very powerful. and we see that Kim's body is producing very powerful energy, which makes Bai Swan very surprised. And he says, "What is happening? Why is this strange power coming out of your body? Are you an awakener? No, this can't be. I have known you for a long time. You must be using some trick, because of which you can scare me." But Kim thinks, "What is happening to me? My skill has been activated and my power has increased a lot, and I feel very powerful magic in my whole body." But with this we see that the Bioswan is coming very fast to attack Kim, and with this he is shouting, "I know you are trying to scare me by using some trick, but I'm not afraid of you, and today you will be killed by my hands." But we see that Kim faces his hand, and with this he releases his energy, and we see that he needs his little power. By the way, the powerful attack of the 22nd is stopped, and we see that the body of the 22nd is broken from above. By the way, the 22nd is very scared to see it, but with this we see that there are a lot of people sitting in the library. But with this, a very powerful explosion and energy is created there, but the students do not know anything about it. After that, we are shown the scene of the film again, where a lot of dust has accumulated. Now we see that the state of the Bioswan is very bad now. After that he falls to the ground, and at the same time Kim is thinking, "Thank God I have held back my power. Otherwise I would have killed the Bioswan." And at the same time Kim is being told from the system, "Your skill predation is complete, and your rank is being changed to E. And at the same time you have copied a new skill, which is called Stone Skin, which you can use for Aza armor and combat skills." And we see that Kim's hand is covered with stone skin armor. And then we see the scene of school clinic, and we see a doctor there, who is actually a healer, but after seeing something he is shocked. And we see that Kim has come here who has brought these bullies with him. And he says, "Teacher, can you treat us?" And seeing this, teacher is very shocked. And he says, "What?" And then Kim tells us, "After the fight ended, I brought these bullies to the clinic because I didn't want anyone to know about our fight." After that, we see that the doctor is healing Kim's hand. After that, she asks, "What happened? Why are you all so injured?" So Kim says to her, "Ma'am, nothing happened. In reality, we all fell down the stairs." And after hearing this, the doctor is very surprised and she is wondering if someone is hurt so much after falling down the stairs. After that we see that Kim is going towards his house and he is thinking that our doctor is really a very capable healer. He healed me very well in a short time and now my hand is completely fine. But at the same time Kim is thinking about his skill and he is thinking that mystical predation is very powerful. Why did that king give me the skill? And at the same time Kim is thinking that because of this skill I have changed me rank to E in a short time. And not only that, I destroyed the armor of Bai Swan very easily. And even I have copied the skill of Bai Swan. And Kim thinks that my skill is very powerful. If I use my skill and memories of my previous life very well, then I can make myself very strong very soon. But for now, I should forget all these things. And we see that Kim comes in front of his house and he thinks, "After the death of my parents, my uncle and aunt raised me. And even though he has a son, but he has always treated me very well. And he also considers me his son." And thinking this, Kim is smiling. After which he comes inside the house and he is thinking, uncle and auntie both will have gone to their work. And maybe they will come back home in the evening. But when Kim comes inside the room, he sees that there are already some people there. And some person is collecting money from the ground, which is none other than Kim's cousin. After which Kim says, "Jay, what are you doing here? You should have been in school at this time." But at the same time he sees that there is a lot of money on the ground and it is not someone else's money, but it is the money of Kim's uncle and aunt who have been saving for a long time. But at the same time one of those people says, "Hey, who is this? Is this your cousin?" And this is the pocket of the student. "Sir, this is my cousin. But don't worry, he won't tell you anything." And seeing this, Kim was thinking how I forgot that when me and Jay were both in school, Jay was also bullied a lot. And he was stuck in a very big problem at a very young age, due to which we had to face a lot of difficulties. After that, the person was coming to the king and saying, "I have heard about you from Jai that you have not yet been able to awaken your powers. But really I wanted to see you." After that, he comes to the king and puts his hand on his head and says, "So Unavakna, listen to me very carefully. If you do not want to get into this problem, then stay here quietly, and do not disturb us. And this is why Kim is very surprised, but he smiles and says, "Perfect, I wanted to try my skills." And at this time he hits that person's face with a very strong punch, and he hits him on the ground. And seeing this, all the people there are very surprised. After which Kim comes to that person and he says with his hand on his face, "Predation." And along with this Kim is very happy, but at this time he is told by the system that you cannot activate your skill like this. And hearing this Kim is very surprised and he says, "What?" And we see that the person is very scared and he is thinking, why did he attack me suddenly? And why is he doing such a strange thing? Was he trying to scare me? And at this time that person punches Kim in the face very hard, because of which Kim fell down. After that that person stands up and says to his companions, "Idiots, what are you doing? Catch this scoundrel and kill him." And we see that these three are the real evictors. And we see that one person attacks Kim through his chains, and the other person attacks Kim with his poison. After that his boss attacks Kim with his power of nature. And we see that these three attacks are going towards Kim. And we see that because of these attacks, there is a very powerful blast there, because of which there is a lot of dust there. And that leader was saying, "The bastard was acting like he was also a superhuman. For once he scared me too." But at this time that leader was very surprised to see something in front. And we give that Kim stands in front of him completely safe, because his skill radiation has been activated. And at the same time Kim laughs a lot. "Thank you, because of you I have understood how to activate my skill." And with this Kim has activated his second skill, Stone Skin, due to which the armor made of stone comes on his body. And seeing this, the leader is very surprised. But at this time Kim moves forward very fast. And he goes and punches the face of that leader again and throws him on the ground. And with this Kim is very happy. And the leader, whose condition is bad, he shouts and says, "What is your problem?" And we are shown a scene after a while, where we see that Kim has ruined all those people's condition. And along with this Kim tells us that, after becoming superhuman I have learned two things. First thing, no one can see my status window except me. And second thing, my skill predation is activated when I use my mana. And along with this Kim is thinking, but there are many things that I don't know about my skill. But along with this he thinks that everything is fine, but what is this fool doing? And we see that Jay is sitting in front of Kim. And he is crying to Kim and saying, "Kim, please don't tell Mom and Dad about this. You also know that I am not just your cousin, but I consider you as my own brother." And Kim is saying this. "Okay, enough of this. You are doing this for a long time. I told you I will not tell them anything." But we say that if Kim is saying, "Look, I promise I am ready to be your dog, and I will do whatever you say. But please don't tell Mom and Dad anything." And listening to this Kim is thinking, this is really very smart. It's not wrong to say that he is a smart guy who knows how to take action in any situation. But right now, this is not a big problem for me, because today a big problem is going to come in our city. And that is a dungeon break, after which Kim says, Okay, I promise I will not tell anything to Uncle and Aunt. But in return, you will have to come with me to a place. And listening to this, Jake would not understand anything. But at the same time we are shown a factory scene. But we see that this is actually a restricted area, where people are not allowed to come. And we see that some people are already present in this factory. And one of them is a girl. "Sir, why did you create this barrier here? Is this dungeon going to break?" But at the same time they see that monsters have started coming out of that dungeon. After which their leader says, "This dungeon has appeared here a few days ago. And it is said about this that this is a C-rank dungeon. But some people have a doubt on this thing. That's why we have come here to create a barrier." But with this, a girl is shouting and saying, "Sir, these monsters are coming out of this dungeon. Don't you think they will break your barrier?" So that person is saying, "Don't worry. This dungeon is just a C-rank dungeon. And the barrier I have created is a B-rank barrier, out of which these monsters will never be able to come out. But we believe that those monsters are trying their best to break that barrier. And all the monsters break this barrier and they all come out. And a monster is about to attack the leader, but at that time a girl shouts and calls out to her leader. And the person turns back very fast and hits that monster with a very powerful kick, due to which he separates the head of that monster from his chest. After that we are shown the scene of Jay, which is he saying, "Kim, you said that there is going to be a dungeon break whose rank is C. And he already has B-rank hunters, who are professionals. So this is a good thing. They will easily clear that dungeon. And we see that they both are running towards that dungeon. And Kim says yes, this was perfect. But at this time that dungeon was really C rank. But it's not like that. Because that dungeon is a high rank dungeon. And hearing this, Jay is very surprised. Because of which we are shown the scene of that dungeon again. And we see that, wherever the monsters had come out, that team leader and his companions have killed these monsters, and that team leader is very surprised and thinks that they have broken my B rank barrier. How is this possible? Is it possible that this is a high rank dungeon? And at this time he sees that more monsters have started to come there. And the team leader who has made the barrier, those monsters are trying to break that barrier again. And they break this barrier very easily. And we see that from there, a lot of powerful monsters have come out. And at the same time, we are shown the boss of those monsters, whose name is Jayat Augur, who is AA rank monster. And seeing him here, that team leader is very shocked. And he is saying, what is AA rank monster doing in the dungeon of AC rank? After that, we are shown the scene of Jay again, who is talking to Kim. Kim, what are you saying? Are you joking with me? If something like this is really going to happen, then how do you know all this? And Yesuin is thinking why he is a fool because this is my second life. But he says to Jay that this is because my sixth sense is very fast. And Yesuin says to Jay that you are lying and trying to fool me. I know you are just saying this to scare me. Look, I have told you that I will never do any illegal work from now on. So please stop scaring me. But with this he sees in front that a lot of people are running from in front. And there are a lot of monsters behind them. And seeing so many monsters coming towards him, Jay gets very scared and says, "What the hell is this? Whatever you said is just a fetch." And Kim says, "Thank God you believed me." After which Jay says, "Kim, hurry up, we should leave from here." But Kim says, "No, you go and do what I told you to do. I will handle these monsters." And listening to this, Jay is very surprised, and we give that Kim has activated his skill Stone Skin, because of which, the stone barrier has come on Kim's body and Kim is going straight towards those monsters. After which we see a building scene and we see a person who is looking at the city through the window, and he is saying, because of this dungeon, many people will be killed. Because we have learned from the information that this is not a C-rank dungeon but an A-rank dungeon. This means that now we have only one hope, and that is you. And we see a guy standing next to this person who is actually an A rank of ignorant. His name is Yunsuk. But Yunsuk is also very scared because of this dungeon break. But he says, "Sir, don't worry, I will try my best to save as many citizens as possible." After which we are shown the next scene and we see that a person is fighting with monsters and he is killing them very easily. And we see that this person is our hero, and we see that Kim is defeating these monsters using combat skills. And at this time Kim activates his skill Predation, and as soon as this skill is activated, all the monsters around Kim's bodies are cut in the middle and they are all killed. And seeing this, Kim is very happy and thinking that my skill Predation is very powerful, but whenever I use it, my mana ends very quickly. So I have to find a way to keep my mana with me. And with this Kim activates his skill on the body of the monsters and he is extracting mana from them. And with this the system is telling Kim that your mana has increased a lot and your rank is also being upgraded. And Kim is also very happy to hear this, and we see that Kim's rank has changed in the day, and along with this the Predation and Stone Skin has also been leveled up. And because of this Kim is very happy and he is thinking that my power is increasing in the way. If I keep increasing my power like this, then very soon I will not only become a rank but also become a S rank hero. And we will see, because Kim has killed all the monsters, so he is thinking, I think my work here is over and I should go to Jake. But at this time Kim hears a loud noise and we see that a person is fighting with that giant ogre. And at the same time that person is saying, I will kill you, you bastard monster. I will give justice to all those souls who have been killed by you. And we see that this person is not anyone else but Yunsuk. And Yunsuk is crying and saying that you will have to die today for justice. And we see that Yunsuk is very surprised to hear this nonsense, and he is thinking, after all, what is this fool saying and who does he want to give justice? But we see that that monster is also going to hit Yunsuk with a very powerful punch. But with this, Yunsuk has activated his full power, and he attacks this monster with a powerful attack, due to which there is a big explosion. And looking at this explosion, Kim is very surprised, and he thinks that this person is very powerful. And how can I forget about this person? This is the man who cleared this dungeon break alone in my previous life. And Yoon-suk defeated Giant Ogre alone. But Kim thinks that everything is fine, but what is he doing? We see that Yoon-suk has his hands tied and he is apologizing to all the citizens who are being killed here, and he is saying, "I am sorry, I could not protect you and you were killed because of me. I am responsible for all this." Hearing this, Kim is very surprised and he is thinking, this man is really very strange. But at this time, Kim is told by the system that a skill near you has been sensed, and we see that in reality. A person has attacked Yoon-suk and he has cut a dagger on his body. Because of which Yoon-suk is injured and he asks the person, "Who are you and why did you attack me?" Hearing this, the person says that you really don't remember me. After that we are shown the next scene and we see Jay, who has taken his schoolteacher unconscious to a safe place. But Jay is very worried at this time, and he is also thinking about Kim. And we are shown a previous scene where Kim is telling Jay, "You can make anyone unconscious with your skill." So Jay says, "Yes I can, but why are you asking?" So Kim says, "Because of this dungeon break. Today many people will die. And one of them is our teacher. So you have to go and protect them. Because when dungeon break will happen, then they will want to help people. And will try every possible way to save people. But they will also die because of monsters' attack." And we are shown a present scene, where Jay is thinking, how does Kim know all these things? But at this moment Yoon-suk thinks that Kim has the power to see the future. And Jay is thinking that yes, it is definitely true. Kim has the power to see the future, through which he has already known that there is going to be a dungeon break here. Kim's skill is really awesome. And friends, Jay has a big misunderstanding here. After this, the next scene is shown where we see Kim, who is thinking, what is this bastard doing here? And finally, what is happening? In my previous life, nothing like this had happened. Because of this we see Yoon-suk, who is shouting and saying, "Who are you? Why are you not showing yourself in front of me? And why did you attack me like this?" And that person is saying that you are really very powerful. If there was a normal person in your place, then he would have died because of this attack. But you are still alive. And at the same time he deactivated his skill, because of which he is now showing in front of Yoon-suk. This person is a villain whose rank is B and he has a special skill whose name is Stealth, through which he can hide himself anywhere. But friends, I will call this skill Shadow skill. And this is also told to us when people's awakening had started. So there were many bad people who had used their powers very wrongly. And one of them is this person who is a serial killer, and he is very much fun to kill people. But the problem is that he has also become an awakening, because of which his power has increased many times. And he has killed many innocent people so far. And at the same time we see Kim, who is thinking, what is happening here? Nothing like this happened in my previous life. What is this villain doing here? Is it possible that because of me the future has changed? After that we see Yoon-suk, who activates his power. And he says, "I will kill you. You have killed many innocent people so far." And we see that he is coming forward to attack the villain very quickly. But at the same time that giant ogre starts moving, which both of them are very surprised to see moving. And we see that the giant ogre has stood up, because of which these two fall from above this monster. And falling is very sad. I killed this ogre. How is he alive? I think he has some regeneration power, because of which he has healed himself. And we see that the monster attacks both of them with a very powerful attack, but they have dodged it. And we see that the killer has gone far away from that monster. And he says, well, this monster will be handled by Yoon-suk. But by then I should enjoy a little. And we see that he is actually talking about Kim, because he feels that Kim is a normal citizen. And we see that the killer is running very fast towards Kim. And looking at him coming towards him, Kim also got very surprised and he was thinking, why is this bastard coming towards me? And we see that the killer attacks Kim while laughing and he has attacked Kim's neck. But Kim has activated his skill tone barrier which protects himself. After that he hits a very strong kick on the face of the killer, because of which the killer goes back and he is saying that you are not a normal person but you are an awakening. But at this time Kim says that B-rank villain Han Sang-do is a serial killer who has killed many innocent people. Really, your luck is very bad because you have met me. After which we see that the fight starts between Kim and the killer. And we see that the villain attacks Kim very hard. But Kim easily escapes this attack with the help of the stone barrier. After which Kim is also attacking this villain, but he is defending himself very easily. And that villain gets behind him, and he tells Kim that you are more skilled than he thought. And here I have another disadvantage, and that is that my attack is not working in you. Because your body has become very hard because of your skill. But with this that killer laughs a lot, and says that you are the only one who is going to die here. And immediately he activates his shadow skill and disappears from front of Kim. And Kim is thinking that this is a special skill of this killer which can defeat his opponent very easily. But we see that Kim has felt his presence, and he punches him very hard. But we see that the killer has dodged him, and he comes after Kim very fast. And he attacks Kim very hard, and we see that Kim tries to stop him with his hand. But his hand is also damaged a lot. As he saw that, Kim was also very surprised, and he was thinking that how did he get my stone barrier? But at the same time that killer was saying that stupid kids, do you know that I have met so many stupid kids like you and they all thought that they can defeat me. But it was only their mistake and they all got killed by my hands. And we see that he was attacking Kim very fast and Kim was not able to stop these attacks. Because of which Kim is getting very angry. But at this time that killer attacks Kim with a very powerful attack. And we see that because of this attack Kim is very injured. And his blood is also very lost. And Kim is thinking I never thought that even though I have stone skin, some person will be able to damage me like this. But as he laughs he says, what happened? Did you say that I am not scared? But Kim starts smiling after hearing him. And seeing this that killer gets very surprised. And we see that he is once again attacking Kim. And he is saying with this, I think after getting beaten so much by me you have gone a little crazy. But at this time he was shocked to see something. And we see that Kim has activated his skill predation. And he says, do you know Killer-san? Why am I so happy to see you here? That's because I really liked your skill. And now I need your skill. And we see that the killer is shocked by the powerful energy that is coming out of his body. And he feels that if Kim wants he can kill him at once. But with this the killer says, you fool, what do you think you can kill me using a trick? This will never happen and you are going to die at my hands. And we see that he has activated his shadow skill again, and he has come to attack Kim again. But at the same time Kim also uses his power and easily catches the killer. And he says, do you know that my skill never leaves anyone? And if you get into his hands then you will die for sure. And he cuts the body of Park Seundu into pieces. Because of which Park Seundu dies here. And looking at this Kim is smiling a lot. After which we see the city scene and there we see Yoon-suk who is lying on the ground. Because he lost to that giant ogre. And he thinks that if that villain hadn't attacked me by cheating, I would have killed this ogre very easily. But now I am going to die with the hands of this ogre. And we see that the ogre is coming to Yoon-suk while walking. After which he hits Yoon-suk with a very powerful punch. After which he sees Yoon-suk again. But we see that Yoon-suk is not there. And at the same time a person says, idiot, what were you doing? Do you really want to die with his hands? And we see that this person is not anyone else but our hero, who rescued Yoon-suk. And Kim has copied the shadow skill of that killer. After which Kim activates his shadow skill while smiling and says, I think I won't have much problem in defeating this monster. After which we are shown the next picture scene. And we see that Kim and Jae both have returned home. Seeing which their uncle and aunt are very happy. Because they feel that due to the dungeon break Kim and Jae are stuck in some problem. After that we see that Kim's uncle and aunt are asking him a lot of questions. And Jae tells them a lie that they had stopped at a friend's house. And he didn't come back home because of the dungeon break. Because they were very scared. And hearing this their parents trust them. After that we see a person who is reading today's news on his mobile. And it is being shown in the news that a reporter is telling everyone. During this dungeon break, many monsters had come. Superhumans have killed them all. And the boss of this dungeon who was an A-rank monster was defeated by an unknown superhuman. But we don't know any details about him. And all the people who got injured during this dungeon break are also being treated in the hospital. And we see the team leader in the hospital who is talking to his companions. I am sorry guys, I thought it was a C-rank dungeon but it turned out to be an A-rank dungeon. And we see that the school doctor is also there who is telling the police. I was at my home but when I opened my eyes I was in this hospital. I don't understand anything how I came here. After that we see Yoon-suk who has a lot of reporters. And they are asking about all the incidents. Where Yoon-suk is saying to them please go from here. Because I am not your hero. and I am not the one who has protected you. Rather, that person is someone else. And he is your real hero. After that, we are shown that person who is watching this news. And we see that this person is no one else. And no one else but Kim comes and says, "Thank God no one knows about me and people don't know that I defeated that ogre." And we see that Kim comes to a tunnel, and he is thinking, as far as I remember, this is the place where the second dungeon is going to appear. And with this, Kim is thinking, my rank is now D and my power has also increased a lot, and Kim's new skill is also D. But this is what Kim is thinking: my skills are very good, but to use them I have to use my mana a lot. And if one day I will fight monsters and my mana will be completely gone, then I will be killed by those monsters. That's why I have to solve my mana problem, and to solve my mana problem there is a way through which I can always solve this problem. And that is potions. Nowadays in the market there are such potions that as soon as you use your mana increases a lot. But those potions are very expensive, which no normal person can afford. And we see that Kim is walking inside the tunnel, and there is a broken wall in front of him, from where a lot of light is coming. After that, Kim goes inside that wall, and he is walking from there, and he is thinking, I have only one way, that I have to collect the mono stones, through which I can buy the elixir for myself. But because I am not an official hunter, so I will not be allowed to go to any dungeon. But I know about some dungeons that nobody knows about, and I can clear them. And we see that there are many monsters behind this wall, and there are very big spiders which are actually the boss monsters. And one of them says, "What is this person doing here? Nobody knows about our location. So how did this person come here?" So another monster says, "Don't worry, if it comes we will paralyze it and eat it raw. And no one will even know about this person." Because of which we are told about these spiders whose rank is B. And these are the boss monsters of the place. And looking at them, Kim thinks that these are only monsters of rank B. If I want to up my rank, then I need a monster of rank A. But this monster is really very useless. And hearing this, those spiders were getting very angry, and they say, and she says, "How dare you say that? You are very weak than us, and do you think you can kill us?" And we see that a monster throws its poison on Kim, and we see that the poison hits Kim directly. As you can see, that monster is saying, "Because of this poison you will be paralyzed. After that we will divide your body into many pieces, due to which you will die a very painful death." But we see Kim, who is fine because he activated his skill predation, because of which this poison has not affected Kim. And seeing this, those monsters are shocked. And they are thinking, what happened? Why is our poison not working on it? After that we hear screams from that tunnel. And they say, "Please don't kill us, let us go from here." But Kim kills all those monsters. And the same way, Kim is told by the system, "You have copied a new guild paralysis." After that we are shown the scene of the building of the Hunter Association. And we are shown a meeting scene where 3 people are sitting. And at the same time we see a person who is actually the deputy manager of the Hunter Association. And he is thinking that there are 4 major guilds in our city, whose name is the Fighters. After that the Craftsmen. After that there are the 3rd Magicians and the 4th Night Walkers. And these 4 are still strong and powerful guilds. And to handle these guilds an association is made, which is called Player Association, and solves all major problems in these guilds. But what are these people doing here? And we see that the guild master of the Nightwalkers is present here. And we see that the chairman of the Hunter Association is present in front of him. And he is also an S-rank hero. And with this the chairman asks, "Did you find out anything about the hunting guild?" So the leader tells, "A few time ago, a member of the hunting association, Sangdo, who is a B-rank villain, was killed by a person. But the information showed that the person is not a hunter. Because if he was a hunter, he would have come to take the reward kept on Sangdo. But no one came to take the reward. The clear meaning of this is that maybe that person does not know about this." The lady says, "Chairman, I know you did not call me here for this. So tell me, what is the reason? Is there any important thing you want to talk about?" So the chairman says, "Miss Young, I want to know, when are you going to start the hunter test?" So that lady is very surprised and says, "It's a long time to start the hunter test. But why are you asking about this now?" So he smiles and says, "Because I have a doubt that the person we are looking for is a high schooler. And maybe he will also want to give the hunter test." And with this we see Kim, who has killed all the monsters there. And Kim has collected all the monsters and mana stones, and is calling this person. "Is this the alchemist group number?" So the person in front of him is saying, "Yes, this is the alchemist group number." So Kim says, "Actually, I had some mana stones that I want to sell." So the person in front of him says, "There is no problem in this. You can come to the alchemist group whenever you want to sell the mana stones." After which Kim tells us, "Because of the dungeon break, we were given a 7-day vacation from our school. And because I was free at home, Jay and I started our physical training. And along with that, I started clearing the dungeons that I know about. And along with that, I went to the Alchemist Guild and sold all my mana stones." And looking at these mana stones, the manager was very shocked, and he said to Tim, "Sir, from today onwards you are the S-Class VIP of the Alchemist Guild. And whenever you want, you can visit the Alchemist group." And Kim tells us that because I have cleared a lot of dungeons, my strength has increased a lot. And we know that Kim's rank has been promoted to C. And at the same time Kim thinks that my rank is also only C. So I have to do a little more hard work so that I can increase my strength even more. And we will see that Kim is in school at this time. And some students are talking about Kim, and one of them is saying to him, "Friends, do you know I have heard that Kim has beaten Bai Swan. Do you know that Bai Swan is a C rank awakener? But how did Kim beat him? While Kim has not yet become an awakener. But friends, Kim may not be coming to Bai Swan using any trick. But what do you think, will Bai Swan's cousin let this happen so easily?" And at this time we see that a person has come there. As everyone around is very scared seeing him coming here. After that, the person sits in front of Kim, with his feet on the table. And with this, the person says, "Kim, my friend, I met you after a long time. How are you?" And with this person is told about, who is an Aztec awakener, whose name is Lee. And with this, Lee is the son of the leader of a hunter guild. And moving forward, he is going to take care of his father's post. But with this person is the boss of all the bullies in the high school. And there is no reason for Kim to be bullied so much in this school. But Lee is the one. Because Lee has told his cousin to bully Kim. But with this Kim says in a lot of anger, "What did you say? Friend, stop your nonsense and get out of here." But listening to Kim's words, Lee's spoon gets a lot of anger. And he says, "How dare you talk to our boss like this? Are you forgetting who the boss is?" But to lie down, Lee punches him in the face. And makes him unconscious there. And he is saying, "Can't you see? We are having a conversation, and how can we dare to speak during our conversation?" After this, he says to Kim, "My friend, I have come here to talk to you only. But I think you are trying to be a little smart right now. Have you forgotten who I am?" And with this, Lee releases his aura, and we see that Kim feels Lee's aura and is very surprised. And he thinks that his power is really very high because he is not a normal Avigner. Rather, he is an S-rank Avigner. And we see that Lee is activating his power predation, and he is thinking that if I use my skill predation against him, then will I be able to defeat him. But we see that a girl comes there, and says that Lee, enough is enough now, stop it. And we see that girl, and we see that she has frozen a friend of Lee's hand in the ice, and he is screaming with pain. And this girl is surprised to see Kim here. And he comes to know that this girl is the president of his class, whose name is Ian. And he is also not a normal person, but he is also an S-rank Aviner. And Kim thinks that in my previous life too he was an S-rank Aviner. And in the future he will become a double S-rank hunter. And to calm down, he looks at Ian here and says to him, "Ian, you may be the president of our class, but you should not interfere in my affairs. And anyway, Kim is my friend and we are just talking normal things." "Yasenker," Ian says, "is it true? But I don't think so at all that you are both friends. And it looks like you are bullying Kim." Yasenker Lee says angrily, "Ian, what are you saying? You should think before saying. Don't you know who I am?" But Ian says, "If you go away from here easily, then it is good for you. Otherwise, maybe you know about me too, who I am." And Ion is not a normal person but the younger sister of the leader of the Nightwalker gang. And we see that Ion and Lee are releasing their aura and the team is fighting them. What are they doing? If they start fighting, they will destroy the whole school. But we see that Lee is going from there, and he says that I think this is enough for today and I should leave. Because I have no intention of fighting you. But at this time we see that Lee has activated his power, and he says to Ion while attacking, "What did you think I would say this?" And we see that Ion is also ready for his attack. But at this time we see that there is a speaker in that class, and from that speaker comes the voice of a person who is saying, "This is an important announcement. Come to the main hall now because some hunters from the Hunter Association have come to meet you. Who wants to take a special lecture with you, and none of you should be late. And all the people present in the school are listening to this message. And he is thinking subtly what the people of the Hunter Association are doing here. After which he says to Ayun, Ayun, your luck is really very good. But next time I will not leave you. But listening to this, Ayun was not saying anything. And he goes away from there quietly for the day thing. After that we see Ayun, who is talking to Kim. Are you fine? Why do you always get stuck in the fight? And she looks behind, but she sees that Kim is not there. And she gets very surprised by seeing this. But at that time Kim says from behind, what are you doing? Come on, hurry up, we also have to go to the main hall. And Kim goes away from there, and seeing this, Ayun does not understand anything. And she is thinking, what happened to this boy? Today he didn't even thank me. Has it changed from the beginning? After that we are shown the next scene, where we see that all the children have come to the main hall of this school. And someone is saying something along with it. So students, how are you? I know you all will be very worried about the upcoming dungeon breaks. But today I have come here for 2 reasons. The first reason is that I want to apologize to you. That we could not give much protection to people in the dungeon break. Because of which a lot of people were killed. But in future these dungeon breaks will be covered properly, and the citizens will be taken care of properly. But the second reason is that we are also applying the permission of tryouts for high schools. And with this we are shown that this person is not anywhere else but the deputy manager of the Hunter Association. But with this we see Lee, who is thinking that Kim was really very lucky today that Ayun came there. If Ayun had not come there, then I would have done him a very bad favor today. Then we see Ayun, who is thinking about Kim. And she is thinking, what happened to Kim? She didn't even talk to me. When this lecture will end I will go and talk to her. But we see Kim, who is sleeping during this lecture. And she is thinking, I don't know when this lecture will end. But we see all the other students who are thinking, what is our connection with this tryout? And why are high school students being given permission for this? Whereas this permission is given only to those students who are above 20 years of age. But along with this, the deputy manager is saying, friends, I know you must be thinking that why are tryouts being done? So you should know that the purpose of this thing is that you can be made more powerful. Because now the monsters that are happening in dungeon breaks, their level is low but they are very powerful. And what is the reason for this? We have not yet known about it. That's why you have to become strong as soon as possible so that you can do your own protection. And yes, all the people there are very surprised. But at the same time we see Kim, who is thinking that whatever this deputy manager said here is all a lie. But in reality, their goal is to choose good players. And this deputy manager has also come here because he has a special skill through which he can see the power level of every person. And we see that the deputy manager activates his power, because of which an eye is created on the sky, through which he is able to see the power level of all the students present there. And with this he is thinking that all the students present here, all of them have a very good power level. And moving forward these people can become very good hunters. But with this he is thinking of being very surprised. But here are some people who are very special. And we see that he is not talking about anyone else. Rather, he is talking about Lee. And we see that Lee's power level is 1094. But with this, the girl is more special than this. And we see that Ayun's power level is 2335, which is much higher than Lee's. And along with this, the deputy manager is thinking, as I thought, she is the younger sister of the guild master of the Nightwalker group. So how can her power level be less? But at this time, Lee raises his hand and says, Sir, I want to tell you something. This is when the deputy manager gets very surprised. And he says, yes, tell me what you want to say. So we give him the key. Lee says, Sir, as you said that you are going to start tryouts from now on. But the most special thing for this is that to take part in the tryouts, it is necessary to have an awakening of that person. But what is this person doing here? Who has not awakened his powers yet? And he is talking about Kim, not anyone else. And with this he says, Sir, I think that you should clean the garbage from between us. Because if he is in any danger, then we have to carry the burden of it. And we see that everyone around is laughing a lot after hearing this. And looking at this, Kim is thinking that this scoundrel will never stop his actions. But with this Lee is thinking that I also want to see how you defeated the Black Swan. Did you really become an awakener? But we see that Ayun screams and says there, Lee, stop your nonsense. When will you stop bullying students? But at the same time she is thinking about Kim, where Kim tells her not to help me until I ask for your help. But at the same time Ayun is thinking that if I help Kim then she will think that I am intentionally behind her and try to save her. And at the same time we see that she takes her face straight, and she is thinking that you go to hell, I don't care about you. After which the deputy manager says, students, this is up to you. Whoever wants can take my lecture, and if any one of you wants then he can leave this lecture. You guys are not passionate about this thing. So listening to this Lee says, Kim, don't you really feel ashamed? I think you should leave now because this insult is enough for you. And listening to this, Kim thinks, it seems to be in a Vigner, everything happens. But I don't need to show you my power. Because in a while, this deputy manager will realize my power. And we see that the deputy manager is looking at Ion, Lee and Kim here. And he is thinking, even though Lee is such an Vigner, but he still bullies his fellow students. This is really very shameless. But I can't do anything about it. And along with this, he thinks. He said about Kim here that he is an unawakened person, but I haven't checked this yet. Maybe I should check about Kim too. And along with this, that deputy manager uses his power on Kim too. But he is told by his system, you can't check this person's power. And hearing this, that deputy manager is very shocked. And he says, what? And along with this we see that Kim says, Lee, maybe you were right, I should leave from here because being here is hurting your pride a little bit. But listen to me carefully, and we see that Kim abuses Lee by showing his middle finger, and says, you all go to hell. If you die in a dungeon then I will not make any difference, and it is good that I will not go to any dungeon. At least I will not die like you in the death of a dog. And listening to this Lee is getting very angry and thinking, I was thinking how dare he say that to me. But at the same time we see the deputy manager who was thinking, how can this happen? Why is my skill not working on this person? I have not used my skill on just one person. Rather I have used it on our chairman and the guild master of the Night Walkers. And I have checked the power level of those people. But why am I not seeing the power of this boy? And we think that Kim is going from there. He is thinking, what is happening to me? I have to check this girl's power again. But he is told again that you can't check this person's information. And he is doing something again, but he is getting the same message again and again that you can't check this person's information. But at the same time Kim turns back and the deputy manager is told on the message that the person in front of him has released his power. And looking at Kim's power level, the deputy manager is very surprised and wheezy that Kim has actually shown the power of the king. And we are shown that Kim is looking very badass right now and his power level is 5096. After which we are shown the next scene. And we see the library of the school where Lee is sitting and reading books. But at the same time there are some students sitting there who see Kim and tell him that I was waiting for you here. You took too much time. And we give that these people are actually Lee's spoon who have come here to take Kim. And at that time one of them says, Lee has called you and you have to come with us. And Kim says yes, and if I don't go with you then he laughs and says yes. Then your uncle who is working in a restaurant. You will be responsible for what will happen to them. And listening to this, Kim gets very angry and we give that he very quickly punches the face of that student. And throws him away. And we see that all the books in the library have fallen. And we see that all the students who came there, Lee has beaten them all. And that student who was threatening the king, Kim has grabbed him by the neck and he says to him, so where is your scoundrel boss? Take me to him. After this, we are shown the playground scene, where Lee and his bodyguard are present. And we see that Kim is also here today. And at the same time the bodyguard says, it's really surprising. Lee says, what happened? Why are you so surprised? Lee says, sir, he is not a normal person. And maybe he is an A-rank Avcand. Because when he came here, I used my power on him. But his aura is very powerful. Because of which I can't even see his status window. Lee says, oh, so you finally became an Avcand. But what do you think? Can you defeat me after becoming an A-rank awakened? But with this Lee says, look friend, I know I have hurt you a lot. And I may have said a lot of bad things about you. But I want to give you an offer. Because now I know that you are also an A-rank awakened. So my offer is that you join my guild. And from now on I will treat you very well. And with this he says, Kim, you are a talented person. I already knew this. But you could not awaken your powers. I used to hate you and thought you were very weak. But now that you have become an applicant, I will treat you well. And your family who was living a bad life, I will give them a good life too. and you can live well with your family. But listening to this, Kim says, although your offer is very good, but now you have crossed your line. We will see that Kim has activated his skill Stone Skin, because of which his body has a stone barrier today. And Lee gets shocked and says, "While your skill looks cool," but we see that Lee has activated his fire power. And he says, "But you are nothing more than a dog, and you are the dog that we have veto trained before making a pet. After which we can make him a pet, so now I am going to train you to make my pet." And with this we see that Lee's bodyguard activates a spell and creates a barrier there. And this is a barrier due to which no sound of their fight will go out. After which the bodyguard says, "You can continue your fight now and no one will disturb you." And we see that as soon as Kim and Lee both attack each other. And we see that they both hit their punches with each other. But we see that Lee's punch is very powerful, and he breaks the barrier of thinking. After that we see that Lee hits a very powerful kick to the king, because of which there is a big blast. And we see that a lot of blood is coming out of the mouth of the king. And Lee is laughing a lot with this. "Fool, did you forget before fighting that I am an Ashrak awakened?" And we see that they start fighting a lot, because of which there are a lot of blasts happening there. And seeing this, that bodyguard is thinking, "I am feeling bad for this boy, but I can't do anything about it." And we see that Kim has come out of that fire, and he is moving forward to attack Lee. And looking at this, the bodyguard is thinking that this boy is also very powerful. But really his luck is very bad because today his opponent is our young master. And we see that Lee has stopped Kim's attack very easily. And he hits a very powerful punch in Kim's stomach and throws him away. And that bodyguard thinks that our young master is really powerful because he ice and astringent wicked. But seeing them fighting, suddenly that bodyguard is shocked, and we see that Lee is attacking King. But Kim dodges Lee's attacks and counterattacks him, and he is hitting Lee hard. And at this time Kim punches Lee in the face and throws him away. And seeing this the bodyguard is shocked, and he says, "Impossible, how did this boy do this? Is this boy's combat skills more than our young master?" And we think that Lee, who is lying on the ground, is getting very angry, and he is shouting, "You bastard, what have you done with my body? Why am I not able to move my body?" And hearing this the bodyguard is shocked, and he is thinking, who is this boy? He is able to hit our young master in a combat fight. And he has injured him too. After that we see Lee, who is very happy right now. And he is thinking, so finally it is working. And Lee is thinking, I have 3 skills. First of which is Stone Skin, Shadow Skill, and then Paralyzes. And I used these 3 skills while fighting with Lee. In which first I tried to paralyze Lee with my power. After that I used my Shadow Skill in between. But Lee didn't know about this. And finally I haven't used my skill Predation yet. Because if I use it then my mana will be completely finished. And I can't underestimate my skill Predation. Because it is very powerful. And I don't know how to use it properly. So we see that he starts hitting Lee. And we see that he punches Lee and throws him far away. And seeing this, the bodyguard is thinking, what is happening here? And how is he defeating our young master? It's not like Kim is a rare genius who is able to defeat an A rank awakened and an S rank awakened. And we see that Kim has come to Lee, but Lee is saying that I know you are very talented and maybe I can't defeat you. But to be honest I haven't used my full power yet. And we see that he takes out a stone from his hand and this stone looks very special. And at this time Lee breaks this stone. And at the same time Kim gets very surprised to see something. And we give that in reality Lee's power has increased a lot. And in front of Kim there is a very big skeleton monster present, which is made of fire. And we give that Lee, whose power has increased a lot at this time. He abuses Kim and says, Fool, what is my real power? I will show you now. And we give that Lee is attacking Kim. But Kim is running and dodging his attacks. But at this time we see that Kim makes a very big jump and he hits Lee with a very powerful punch. But at this time Lee also makes a fireball and attacks Kim. And we see that when Kim's punch hits the ball, then Kim's punch breaks and Kim falls very far away. After that we see that Lee is coming to Kim while walking, and at the same time we see that bodyguard who is thinking, Master has used this mana implying stone on himself, due to which his mana has increased a lot for a while, and his power has increased a lot. But because of this stone his body could have side effects, and his life could be in danger. But we see that Lee is being attacked by Kim in a very angry way. And seeing this, that bodyguard is thinking, if this continues then young master will really kill that boy. And he shouts and says to Lee, King Master, please stop here or you will kill that boy. Your purpose was to teach him a lesson. But at that time Lee attacks that bodyguard. And he says, stop your nonsense. Who are you to explain me? This bastard has hurt me and today he will have to die at my hands. And listening to this, Kim is also very surprised. And at the same time we see that Lee, who has gone completely crazy, he attacks Kim with another very powerful attack. And at the same time he is laughing a lot. Kim, today you will have to die with my hands. And we see that because of Lee's attack, a big hole has formed on the playground. And at this time, the bodyguard also comes there. And he says to Kim while giving his hand, boys, hurry up, hold my hand, you have to run from here. Otherwise the young master will kill you. But at this time, Kim punches him very hard on his face, because of which blood has come out of his nose. And Kim throws him away. And at the same time we see that Kim is coming out of the smoke and saying, what did he say? Should I run away from here? How did he even think of that? And we see that Kim has drunk a lot of potion bottles. And along with this, Kim laughs and says, how can I run away from here? Whereas I am also enjoying this game. And we see that Kim has activated his skill predation. After this, we are shown the scene of the Hunter Association, where we see that the deputy manager has told the chairman about all the students of the high school. And the chairman is very happy. And he was saying that these kids are really amazing. Have you seen that a boy has 1900 power and a girl has 2300 power? This is really unbelievable. And this is what the manager was saying. Sir, this is absolutely true. I have checked the power of both the students myself. And they are really very powerful. And I was saying that there are two ladies standing there who are saying, sir, if this is true, then those kids are really very powerful. And you must know that the total power of the new scientist of Japan is 24. And he is a firstborn kid who has so much power. And if we help these students to grow more, then they will soon become as powerful as those cylinders. And we think that the manager of the dip is thinking that these people are so surprised just because of 25,000. But what I have seen, if I tell you about this, then these people will go crazy with joy. And he is thinking about Kim here, who has a total power of 5,000. After that we see that he came out of the cabin and he was walking with his bodyguards, and he was thinking that I want to know more about that girl, and for that I have to meet that boy. And again we are shown the same playground scene where we see that the bodyguard is in a lot of shock and he is saying that how can a person be so powerful? And in this scene we are shown that Lee is trying to attack Kim with his skeleton monster. But we see that the power of the skeleton monster is not working in front of Kim's skill predation. But in this scene we see that Lee is getting very angry and shouting and saying, hey, you want to use any trick, but I will kill you with my life. And we see that he is preparing a very powerful attack to kill Kim. But at this time we see that Kim is pushing his hand forward, and at the same time he is saying that stupid, this is not only my power, but the power I am Yusinjus, a king himself. And we see a very powerful image of the king there, and at this time the king attacks Lee very powerfully. After which we are shown the scene of the buildings outside the school, where we see that suddenly there is a very big blast from that school. And the playground building is completely destroyed due to this explosion. And we are shown that bodyguard who is very scared and saying that please don't kill young master. And we see that Lee is unconscious and Kim is thinking that well, this is a big surprise that you saved him during my attack. And we know that when Kim attacked Lee, this bodyguard saved Lee from Kim's skill, because of which Lee was saved from death. Otherwise Lee would have died there. About this bodyguard says, look, let the young master go, because it is your benefit. If you kill our young master here, then our guild people will not leave you. And they will find you anywhere and take your life. And Yashinka Kim laughs and says, fool, what do you think? I am a coward who will be afraid of your threats. So Yesung says, bodyguard, tell me what do you want in return for which you will let young master go. So Yesung Kim says, yes, you said a good thing. He is the son of a guild leader, so he must have a lot of money. So do this, bring $1 billion from his father for me. And if you do this, I will return this girl to you. Otherwise you can't take her from here. And friends, this is where our episode ends. And if you are new to our channel, then if you like the video, then subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that you get notifications of every video on time. And like and share the video with this. Thank you.